Yo, what is going on, guys? Blue here, coach of the New Haven Greninjas, bringing you my DUC Down Under Championship Week 1 match versus Atlas, coach of the Washington Regiskins. So this is the first match of the season, just trying to get a good start, 1-0 victory here, and it's not too stressful because if you don't do good, you still have 10 more weeks left, but good start will give me a ton of momentum moving into the following week. So looking at his team here, his team consists of Hydreigon, Sylveon, Copperajah, Quagsire, Venusaur, Ninetales, Orbeetle, Shiftry, Dracozolt, and Vullaby. The team he brought against me is a team that I expected him to bring. It does consist primarily of Sun to combat my Sand. The Hydreigon is a big threat as Dracos are very threatening against me for everything besides Whimsicott. Um, The Sylveon is just a really good special wall against me, as well as providing Wish Pass for some certain of Mons. And he brought the Quagsire as it's only checked my Excadrill. I was expecting everything he brought. The only thing that I could have seen is maybe the Vullaby as another check to Excadrill, but overall I did expect these 6 Pokemon. Moving into the team I brought, I did end up bringing an SD Drill running EQ Rock Slide Ironhead. This is my primary win con this game as Quag's going on +2 in the Sand, it's GG. To partner with that, I'm bringing a primarily defensive Hippowdon with the Sand boosting rocks, so my Sand lasts longer. EQ, Body Press for Hydreigon, as well as Stealth Rocks and Slack Off. Pretty standard stuff there. Just one of my defensive Pokemon this match. Whimsicott, I am running a speedy defensive Whimsicott with 12 special attack. This is with Mons Nature. This is to 2-co certain things. This is my primary objective, things like Shiftry, and it can also sponge hits from Hydreigon, assuming it does not click Flash Cannon versus me. Next, I have my Hydreigon check being Milotic. It's completely specially defensive. It's here to check things such as Hydreigon and Sylveon, which will be able to break through my team easily otherwise. I also have another specially defensive Pokemon being Mew, and this is to counter the Venusaur, because Venusaur destroys my team if I don't bring a specially defensive Mew here. It's running the Psychic and Dazzling Gleam, as well as Calm Mind and Roost. It's also rocking the the Dark Resist Berry, so it is able to eat hits from Hydreigon and Shiftry, which should get off that big Dazzling Gleam versus them, catch them off guard, and take out the kill. And my last Pokemon, I was in between a few, but I decided to go for Reboot as my primary breaker this game. Life Orb, Flare Blitz, High Jump Kick, U-Turn, and Gunk Shot. Hits his team pretty strong. The other thing that can really wall it too hard is the Quagsire. So if I get that thing weakened, this Reboot will be a big threat. So I do like my teamers match. I do end up leading Whimsicott here, so let's see what he leads. As he decides to lead the Sylveon, and I don't like this matchup, so I'm just going to click U-turn right away, trying to get out of there. Go into Milotic and click the Hyper Voice. Now, this just tells me right away that he is not Specs, he's just max special attack. And this next turn is pretty big for me as he reveals to be leftovers. This helps me a lot as he reveals to not be Babby Berry, which means I am free to click Ironhead with Excadrill as I please versus this thing, which is very nice for me. So he's going to straight into Quagsire, just fire off an Ice Beam, scouting out what he could do. Judging by this damage, I can tell that he is leftovers once again, and a primarily physically defensive rather, most likely to counter Excadrill and Reboot, which is what I expected. Now, moving on from here, I just go straight into Whimsicott, knowing that this counters it. He does miss the Toxic, which is unfortunate, but didn't really matter all too much. This thing doesn't really care about being toxic. He goes straight into the Sylveon as I go straight for the U-turn, predicting a switch, and I am able to bring out my Excadrill here. And now he makes a good play as I just click Earthquake, not just wanting to get anything in for free. He goes straight into the Hydreigon, predicting that, which was a risky play, but it still ended up working nonetheless, as he now just has a Hydreigon for free. I just switch out straight into my Milotic as he clicks Flash Cannon, trying to predict the Whimsicott. So now I am in with this. I just go straight for the recover here, seeing if he wanted to do any more damage to me. As here, this is the biggest play of the match, as I go into this Hippowdon, and I am expecting the Solar Beam here. I want him to Solar Beam, because if he Solar Beams, he is locked into a 60 power move, 2-turn 60 power move against my Hippowdon, and he can't do anything. As this is his Sunsetter, which in that him getting rid of this thing will heavily weaken both his Sun Sweepers, being Venusaur and Shiftry. And as he does end up clicking the Solar Beam, and I am just able to eat this thing, it does very little damage, and I am able to knock it out with the Earthquake. And this is huge. He now has no access to Sun. His two Wind Cons are heavily nerfed now. He also has no way to get rid of my Sand. So this is a huge turn for me, and he goes straight into the Venusaur, trying to scare my Hippowdon. I just go straight into my Mew, which is my dedicated Venusaur check. I'm able to eat that up. He does reveal the Life Orb. Um, and I just fire off a Roost here, as I don't want him to do any more damage to my Mew. And he goes for the Throat Chop. I am able to eat up my Colbur Berry. Does less damage, and I am doing Dazzling Gleam 62%. And that is now the Shiftry is heavily low. I just go straight into my Whimsicott on the next Throat Chop, does 29%. The physically defensive investment helps me, and he dies to Sand. So now it's only 6-4. He has one Sun Sweeper left, and I just go straight for the U-turn, and I make a risky play, going into Excadrill here. I didn't really expect him to go for the Giga Drain, as he's already behind enough as is. So I do make a risky play, but it does end up working out, and now I'm just free to fire off either an Earthquake or an Iron Head. I usually end up firing off the Earthquake here, as he stays in, and I am able to knock out the Venusaur. Now he's down 6-3. It's not looking very good. And I just go straight into my Milotic. He clicks Dark Pulse, 34%. With leftovers, I should be able to eat that up. He does 35 this one. I go for the Ice Beam, does about half, and I think I'm just going to click Recover here, and he crits me. This doesn't end up mattering too much, but it is definitely unfortunate, as you will see later on. So I now just go into my Whimsicott, forcing him out. He just goes into Sylveon. Do very little damage with the Moonblast. I have very little special investment. I go straight for the U-turn. I go right into my Mew, trying to get a Roost off on this thing, so I can keep it and preserve it, as it deals with basically his whole team now. He just keeps clicking Shadow Ball, fishing for either a crit or Spadef drop, as he's continuing to get neither. I do just keep going for Roost, as trying to get full health, and he goes for the Wish this turn, and ends up going straight into the Hydro Gun, as I click Calm Mind here. This is really necessary for me, as it essentially allows him to. This Dark Pulse will not do a ton of damage, assuming he's not Specs, which by the damage hits by Low Deck he wasn't. And now I am just able to eat this thing up. He does take the Wish. It doesn't end up mattering, as he does click Dark Pulse. Does very little damage, 45%, and the Dazzling Gleam will knock that Hydra out. It's now 5-2, and he brings out the Quagsire, assuming to Toxic me, which I am fine with because of Synchronize. I am able to Toxic him back. Very nice for me, as now this Quagsire is on a timer. He goes straight into Sylveon, trying to Toxic stall me. I do get the Spadef drop here, and very luckily, next turn I am able to get a crit. So now I'll put Sylveon in critical condition, and here I kind of make an unnecessary play, but I just went for it. I do go into Drill on his Shadow Ball. I was expecting him to have Protect, as he only revealed 3 moves this time. But nonetheless, he ends up revealing the. He doesn't end up revealing anything. He just goes for the Shadow Ball. This makes me think that he's just Hyper Voice, Shadow Ball, Wish, Mystical Fire. Probably to take care of my Drill, but nonetheless, I just fire off an Earthquake here. It does knock out the Sylveon, and now it is 5-1. Me preserving differential. I'm just going to go straight into my Whimsicott, knowing this Quag cannot touch it. We'll just fire off the Giga Drain, and that will be GG. So that is good game to Atlas, and we were able to take the 5-0 victory week 1, which is huge for me. We might have been able to get the 6-0 if the Hydreigon did not crit my Milotic, but nonetheless, I will take the 5-0 win week 1. This will put us number 1 in the league as of week 1, which is obviously subject to change. It is week 1, but still, this is a really good start for me. It's a really good start to my comeback to Pokemon. Overall, very happy with how I played in this game. Again, GG's to Atlas. Once again, very good team, and I'm sure you'll bounce back next week. But yeah, that'll do it. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. With that, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.